I'm so nervous. Okay, hello, my name is Shingung Moon. Today I would like to talk about the flip side of feminism. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Before I started this presentation, I didn't know much about feminism. But as I prepared this presentation, I realized I was heavily influenced by feminism. I used to think that I had to have a good career to prove my worth, and I thought that marriage and motherhood doesn't have so much value, at least not as my future career. When I Googled the definition of feminism, this is what came out. Feminism is the encouragement of women's right on the grounds of political, social, and economic equality of men. Sounds really good, right? Who would oppose this if this is really true? But is that what feminism is really about? Let's look at it. Unfortunately, feminism is actually about hating men, hating motherhood, supporting abortion, free sex, and divorce. Why would I say this? Because this is the reality of feminism. First, feminist only supports female leftists who promotes divorce, free sex, and men-hating culture. They have no interest to protect conservative and God-loving women's rights. Secondly, feminists always say that the women are oppressed and underprivileged compared to men. For example, when women get paid 77 cents, men get paid $1. This may sound unfair. However, looking at statistical evidence, there is no consideration of the length of working hours and the choice of work. It is obvious when two people work, the one who worked longer should get paid more. Statistically, men usually choose more dangerous work than women. Statistics shows that if 100 people die in a workplace, 93% are men and only 7% are women. When the Twin Tower collapsed, on September 11, 2001, the death tally of New York City's firefighters were 343 men and 0 women. If men work longer and do more dangerous jobs than women, they should get paid more. Thirdly, feminists target Judeo-Christian marriages and families, while never criticizing Islam and its oppression of women. In Islamic law, a woman must produce 4 male witnesses if she is raped, which is almost always impossible. Forced marriage with children is allowed, and beyond the 4 wives allowed by the Quran, Muslim men are permitted to have sex slaves when they conquered other nations. However, feminists hardly ever focus their attack on these oppressive Islamic nations and laws. After 60 years of feminist movement, now American women's plans for the future is only toward big and successful careers, without any consideration for motherhood and family. As a result, men are choosing not to get married, but rather enjoy free sex and cohabitation. In the end, women in America have become even unhappier. In conclusion, we have to know and identify the truth of feminism and say no to it. In the end, God's ideal of one man and one woman eternal marriage is the best way. That will be the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. My name is Yeona Moon, and thank you so much I'm very grateful that I have this opportunity to speak about anti-feminism. I'm nervous. Yes, I can notice myself. I'm nervous. I'm nervous because I don't know I can beat my daughter. They gave us such a good presentation. I'm feeling nervous. So I need your encouragement. Today, as I coming to Sanctuary Church, I saw a lot of leaves are changing, and it's a beautiful time at Poconos. I love fall, especially in this reason. Okay, so let's talk about reflection on the flip side of feminism. This presentation is actually from the book Flip Side of Feminism. This book is actually written by Susan Vanker, and Phyllis Schlafly. Especially Phyllis Schlafly, she's an activist and she's a lawyer, and she's a great fighter and champion of against the feminist movement. For decades, she's been fighting against the feminism, and so I'm sure some of you actually recognize her name. Okay, so before I get into feminism, I have a small joke that I prepared, and I hope you like my joke. Okay, this is the most difficult part in my presentation. So there was one grandma, she went to a high school reunion party, and, she dressed up and she got a best bag, she could find in her closet, and she went to this high school reunion party. And she was so enthusiastic about it. And then when she came back from that party, she looked so depressed. So her husband, Grandpa, went over to her and, what is wrong, honey? What is wrong? And then the Grandpa told the Grandma, what, did your friend have a more expensive bag than you? And so she said, oh, no, it's okay. No, that's not it. So what is it? Did your friend had did your friend children got a higher paying job than ours? Is that why you're so depressed? I just no. So what is it? No, you can't possibly help me on this issue. So why? What is it? Do you really want to know? Yeah, I do. And she said, I'm the only one whose husband is still living. That's what she said. Okay, you don't need an interpretation on this, okay? Okay, I'll give you a moment to interpret. If somebody didn't get it, please, person next to the seat, explain to them, okay? Okay. You know what? Before I had a reason to tell about this joke, because if you laugh about this joke, you understand the phenomena in modern society. This joke is actually has a premise. The premise is every woman who's in marriage are in suffering. They are in pain. They're actually secretly want their husband to die. And this is a really insidious feminist ideology is actually hidden in this joke. So if you deny, I'm not really influenced by feminism, no. And actually, you are laughing with this joke, you're actually admitting that we are all influenced by feminism, and we understand that dynamic. So before I get into the ideology of feminism, let's see the definition of feminism. What feminism is? I found it from Wikipedia. Feminism is a range of political movements, ideology, and social movements that share the common goal to define, establish, and achieve political, economical, personal, and social rights for women that are equal to those of men. And it sounds, when I first read it, what is it saying? But I guess, what they're saying is, we want to be equal to men. And feminists love the equal thing, right? Equal, right? And then that's what they want. And it sounds very nice. Oh, okay, I guess that's what they want to do, and that's what we think. And before we say more about feminism, I'd like to go brief history of feminism, because that's going to help us to understand what feminism is actually, what it's about. And feminism, some people doesn't agree with this three waves of feminism, but I think this is very easy way to explain feminism. So I'll go along with this structure. The first wave feminism started from 19th century suffragettes. So it was a women's voting right movement that happened, and so it started from 1840s it started, and then the women's voting right nationally accepted 1920. So as you can see in the small picture, if you can, the women were very conservative ladies, women. So when we think about feminism, they're very radical and they're left-winged women, but actually they were not. The first wave of feminism was very conservative women, and they were they anti-abortion, they love family, and in fact, this women's voting right movement was actually supported by a lot of men. Men who love their mother and their sisters, who love their daughter. They want their women to have a voting right. So they really support it. So this was the first wave feminism. And the second wave feminism, it's in 60s feminist. And this is when things become really nasty. So as you can see in the banner that one of the girls is holding, it's "We want free abortion." That's what it says, right? This is the time that you might have seen some picture that woman being naked in group, and they're walking down the street and saying that we want free abortion, we love free sex, and with those kind of the banner. And at that time, the contraceptive method pill become very big, and they basically can have a free sex without any consequence. And then if they happen to have a baby, just abort them. And then we want free abortion too. So this is the feminist movement that has been really swept through the whole America. And but as you can see, since they were so radical, even many women said, "Oh, I don't know, I want to relate to that," and then they did not really, they were not really successful in their feminist movement. And there's a third wave feminism. That says it started from 1990s, and then it's come to now. The feminism, the third wave feminism is quite interesting because they actually remember the failure of second wave feminism. So what they do is they radicalize, they changed radically their package. Instead of being radical, they become more proper. They become much more presentable, so to speak. You can see those two ladies, right? What is it called? I can't even pronounce it. Wicked Witch from West? Okay, that explains it all about Hillary. Okay, and then the other woman who's in red suit is Nancy Pelosi. She's a House Speaker. She's one of the most high-ranked politician in American U.S. And she's actually pro-gun control, pro-abortion. And she is actually credited to spread the Obamacare to the nationally. And in 1999, she actually voted against displaying 10 commandments in public building or in public school. So these elite women, the third wave feminism, actually promote these elite feminists who's only left wing. And then saying that you have to become like them. Otherwise, you are not empowered. Girls, you have to promote these kind of people. You have to look after these kind of women. Then you are true women. So this is the third wave feminist movement. And we'll talk about a little later in depth. So let's go into the feminist ideology. First, feminism creates man, motherhood, and marriage-hating culture. So we will see a very famous quote, feminist quote. This is by Gloria Steinem. She said this: "Women need men like a fish need bicycles." And we need to take time. What is she saying? What is she saying? Let's think about it. After billion years of evolution, fish will never need a bicycle, right? So women will never need a man in our life. That's what they're saying. So they really promote man-hating culture. Let's see another quote from other feminists. She is Germaine Greer. She says, women have a very little idea of how much men hate them. She just insulted half of our congregation who are sitting here. So I was like, what did she say? What did she say? We are not like that. And many of the women will say, what is she saying? Is she representing me? Woman? know. So this is exactly the idiocy of feminism. And you know what? They really practice what they preach, because there's a they've been really practicing what they've been preaching, because they really go after to destroy to establish man-hating culture. So we'll see the evidence why I say this. Title IX of Education Amendment of 1972, it prohibits the gender-based discrimination on college campus that receives federal fund. What this is saying is, if there's a college campus sports, if it's the the sports doesn't contain man and woman's number same 50-50, then they cannot grant the federal grant to that particular sports. That's what they're saying. And then actually, the law itself does not say this. Very, very ambiguously, it says that. But they've been pushing, by using that Title IX, they've been pushing this agenda, saying that it has to be 50-50, otherwise we'll close it down. So they've been successfully closed down. Listen to this number. This number is just outrageously big. They actually closed down, by using this Title IX, they closed down 467 wrestling programs. Yes. And then you can find the article, and even the wrestling program that produced the Olympian wrestlers, they've been closed down. And some of the wrestling program were actually not even funded by federal grants, but they still go after and after until they close down the wrestling program. And then another thing is they actually closed down the Boston College football team after the National Women's Law Center actually filed a complaint against the Boston College football team, that they had to close it down. It had 91 years of history, but they had to close it down because they are going against this Title IX. See how insidious they are? They're very insidious they are. Because these sports, they actually produced very good and strong conservative men. That's why they target these sports. And no wonder, college admission, getting the rate of a man going to college is dropping. And there's an absolutely relation there. And second one is that they really have a motherhood-hating culture. And you will see another quote from the very famous feminist. She's actually mother of a feminist, I would say. But it's interesting. She hated being mom, but she's become mother of feminist. Okay, we'll see. She says, strange new problems are being reported in growing generation of children whose mothers were always there, driving them around, helping them with their homework. The problem is an inability to endure pain or discipline or pursue any self-sustained goal of any sort, a devastating boredom with life. So this Betty Friedan, she is saying this. So when we read it, what is she saying? What she's saying is this: all the problems, all the youth problems in 60s were created by house mom. That's what she's saying. And we were like, what? We all know that statistics shows that all the problem in youth basically came from broken family, right? But she is saying, no, it's all created by those youth problem in 60s, 70s were created all by house mom. And you know what? When we actually look at her life, she had 3 children, and she was married and divorced. And she had such a dissatisfied family life. And she really hated being mother. And what happened was, since she's in her mind, since she had such a terrible experience as being mother, she blew it up as that's a social problem. And thinking that is, thank you, son. And then she's basically saying that, oh, it's a social problem, and we all women have to, fight against this invisible patriarchy who's oppressing us. And thank you to her effort, she created many following generation of feminists who really strongly preach, rejecting the motherhood, such as a woman who's Germaine Greer. She's a 70s feminist icon, and she's one of them. And there's another man, Ann Taylor Fleming, and she's another one who really promote the idea of rejecting motherhood to girls. And then they also they create marriage-hating culture. Feminists hate everything. You can see, they hate fatherhood, they hate men, they hate motherhood, they hate everything. But there's one thing they absolutely love. That is divorce. They love divorce, and they wholeheartedly support divorce. So in 1969, there was in California, there was a no-fault divorce was actually established. So what it means is basically, even though there's no clear reason, just woman or man can walk out from the marriage, and then the divorce is established. But before, the man and woman have to agree in marriage. Man and woman in marriage have to agree to divorce. But after this. 1969, after this no-fault divorce was established, just a unilateral divorce can be done. And then feminists, they really this one, since their passion is here, getting many women to get divorced, they really push this. So under the help of Clinton administration in 1994, they passed the Violence Against Women's Act. So this becomes very nasty law, because the woman doesn't really have to produce any solid evidence against the domestic violence. They can just report, or they can just say it, pretty much. Then the report of the domestic violence can be filed, and then can be used against husband. And saying that, oh, you know what? And then it becomes a great weapon for women to get a child custody. So that's the step that they used. So they actually get a $1 billion a year since 1994. They get $1 billion, almost $1 billion, to reinforce this law into the family. So feminists use $1 billion, the federal fund, to ensure that this law can be utilized into the family court. So they lobby family court heavily, and they educate this bureaucrat in the family court, so that the family court would take the woman's side. So it's very shocking statistic. As I research about this, there's such a shocking statistic. And one of the shocking statistics is a family court judges issues 2 million restraining order every year. 2 million restraining order. And then 85% is against men. So this law is heavily used to really corner father and man from a way that it is used against the man and father, so that they can be separated from father. And this is very hypocritical thing about feminists, because they always say, women, you guys need to be empowered. You guys need to job, because you never know when your man will kick you out from the house. You don't know when your man will find another young woman. Okay, man. Okay, in this culture, man can be young woman or man. So that's why you have to get a job. See. And then they drive a husband out from the house, and then they say you have to get a job. And then once once women drive their husband out from house, and then they actually demand the child support from their husband's income. See? So once they never said, you should not take money from your husband, that's disgrace of a woman. And then after divorce, they demand their ex-husband's income. So how hypocritical is this? See? We are men and women who are here. It's very, we have a sound and logical and reasonable mind that God gave us, right? So we cannot actually agree with what feminism is doing and saying. So normally, healthy women yearn to be in love, married and raising children with the man they love. Just like this. Amen. Hallelujah. Here's a lot of God-loving women here. So this is what we really want. But they're saying, no, that's not what you want. I know better than you. I'm an elite woman, so I know better than you. You don't want that. You've been brainwashed. But you know what? We know what we want. And I know what I want. I want loving family with my children, okay? The second point that feminists always say is, oh, you know what? You guys are oppressed. Women are oppressed. You guys are victims. They love to say this one. And then they always love to say, oh, when woman gets 77 cents, man gets like $1, just like this picture. Oh, poor woman. And they love to promote this. And I saw one Geico advertisement commercial, and they actually used this sentence and saying, a man actually saying this. Oh goodness, they made a man say this. Oh, this is so unfair. Woman gets 77 cents when man gets $1. This is wrong. And actually, we get the man to say this. He got paid, definitely, right? We know that for sure. And actually, as I preparing this PowerPoint, my niece came along and she saw this picture, and I explained, this is what feminists say. And my niece said, oh my gosh, that is terrible. That is unfair. And feminists love to get this reaction from women. And they just love it. And we cannot be women. We cannot be this idiotic. We cannot be this brainless. We have to think about it. When the statistics come around, we have to think about it before we believe it. In the same kind of occupation, within same type of occupation, men and women get paid same. They get paid same if they work the same hour. You have to listen to me. If they work same hour. If men work longer than women, they should get paid more, right? Usually, statistics shows that men work a full-time job, which requires 34 hours. And then the women usually work 27 hours. So there's a real difference how long they work. And then according to the book, Dr. Warren Farwell, and why men earn more in this book, it is because men works more hour per week, takes more hazardous job, work less desirable location under less pleasant working condition. And he goes along, he says, men suffer 93% of occupation death. And as my daughter explained it, 340 fighter died in the 9/11. And they're all men. They're willing to do more hazardous job. That's why they get paid more. And then we have to end this idiotic thing. So think about it, economic point. If really woman gets 99 cents and man gets $1, when woman gets 77 cents, when man gets $1, if I'm a person who's run a deli store, I would hire absolutely women. See, because I can pay less. So, this is not working. That's not true. When you go to McDonald's, you get paid, same, okay? So we have to consider this in mind. So never get cheated by, never get deceived by their lie. They are basically asking equal pay for unequal work, and that doesn't work. And then they always love to say, free from women's we want women to be free from their woman's responsibility. We want women to be liberated from their husband and their children. They love to say that, right? But I understand. I'm a mom of 5. I have 5 children, 4 sons and 1 daughter, and I have a husband who's very loving and very playful, as you can see. And and then being mother and being wife is not an easy job. Many times you have to control yourself and you have to be mature. Many times you choose to sacrifice. But you know what? I actually admitted that sometimes we want to get away from our husband and children. And we need sometimes a coffee break away from our children. Shopping break, thank you. That's one of my list. In the right mall, right? Not in the wrong mall. Okay. And then but feminists never say that when they promote this idea, they will never say that as a woman, we never want to be away, liberated from our husband and our children forever. No, we never, we want to see them. Sometimes to the point in children is like, oh, stop calling. To that point, we want to see them. We want to see how well they are doing, or we want to know. But many times, who actually really devoted themselves to live the feminist livelihood, I'm not saying everybody, but most of them are actually left to be single and to be dependent on government check. Someone like this lady. When one time we went to Nevada, and then father actually invited us to a very good, nice restaurant. It was in the seashore. It was very nice. And then there was an old lady. She was as old as her, and she was working as a waitress. So I didn't ask her anything, but she started to say, I really don't want to work, but it's in my elderly age, I'm weak and I'm tired, but I have to work because I never married. I don't have a family to go back, and government doesn't give me enough, so I have to work. Otherwise, I can't sustain myself. And if she was married, then she will have somebody to return to. But she said, I just cannot do anything else but this. But feminism never tell you this. When we want you to be liberated from your husband and children. They never tell you this backstory. And then the third lie, feminists always love to say, they never about supporting all women, just the liberal women. Only promote left-wing Democratic women, someone like Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, and Oprah Winfrey. They love to promote these women who who pro-abortion, hate marriage. Although some of them get married, big government and a lot of welfare check, and that's what they promote, and they only promote these women. And they will never promote women like Margaret Thatcher, Dr. Laura Schlesinger, Michelle Markeen, or Sarah Palin. They'll never promote these kind of conservative women. I'm not saying these conservative women are perfect. No, I'm not saying that. But all I'm saying is they're upholding the conservative ideas who will benefit in the end, woman, girl. That's what I'm saying. And they are never really interested in promoting to help Islamic women's right. As my daughter said earlier, you have to produce 4 male witnesses when women get raped. How that's gonna happen? That means they will never get prosecuted. And then Islam, they treat women as a property. So they were never interested in to help these women. And they are never interested in those Thailand girls who are 10 years old who sold as a sex slave in the human trafficking. They are never interested in. They will never go into the slum to save them. Who do that? Christian women do that. They actually go into those slums and rescue those girls. And there's a countless testimony, beautiful testimony about that. And you will say, oh, why this feminism is like spreading so wild when it's like this crazy, so to speak? Why? And you will say, how it gets started and why it's spreading. According to Aaron Russo, he was a filmmaker. He made a lot of political film, and he's an entertainment businessman. And he was at once he was very close with Nicholas Rockefeller. And he said this. The Rockefeller said this: before women's liberation, we couldn't tax half of the population. But what is he saying? After women's liberation, we can actually tax the whole population by pushing women into workplace. And then you will see in 1973, the Rockefeller Foundation supported a graduate program in women's study at Sarah Lawrence Radcliffe's Schlesinger Library and the Berkshire Conference in Women's History from Rockefeller Foundation website. So they funded it. Ford Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation, Carnegie Foundation, they really funded women's study. And now in 2016, 349 colleges now offer women's study major. You know, when we say women's study, it sounds good and nice. This is the very typical, the characteristic of third wave feminism. They don't say it's about feminism. If you say that, you sound like a feminist, and they'll say, oh, me? I'm not a feminist. You know, feminist is for all the ladies who's ugly and who's old, who cannot find a husband. That's what feminism is. I'm not feminist. Ho, 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 ho. That's what they would say, right? But this is exactly the same tactic they used in women's study. Women's study is, you will say, oh, maybe they're, hearing about something wonderful about women, who's very courageous woman who really changed the world, with their powerful mind or powerful whatever. But this women's study it's all about feminism. So when you actually go into the women's study course major, and when you click it, you will see the major description, right? What this course is about, and it's all about the feminist history, and that's what the women's study major is for. And so, and if I say it very easy way, before the women's liberation movement in 1960, you can only have one hand that name is man. I'm sorry about this. It's a hand, but let's say just as a metaphor. This hand was laying golden eggs. They had only one golden hand. They only had one hand that lays golden egg. But after women's liberation, they have two hands that lays golden egg. So, for government perspective, for filter-rich, super elite bankers perspective, they have more customers. They have more people to pay for them. See, this is why feminism doesn't go away, and it just seeps into our life deeper and deeper. So what's the result of 60 years of feminism? According to the 2007 report from National Bureau of Economic Research, they say women became more unhappy and they become more depressed. So the fruit of 60 years of feminism is a rampant free sex culture. Women only following after big career. Many men scared to have a committed relationship. They rather just enjoy free sex and cohabitation. Some men say, I'm too smart to get married. Come on, I'm not gonna get married. If I'm gonna rip off in my divorce, I'm not gonna be in statistic. That's what they say, right? I'm too smart to get married. And becoming too old to have a family. Women become too old to have a family. Remember the one of the feminists who was Germaine Greer, who said, "Oh, you women don't have any idea how much men hate them." That lady in the early slide. She actually, in the later of her life, she actually wanted to have a child. She really wanted to have a child so badly. And she says in her comment, she says, you will know how much I wanted to have a baby if you see my doctor's bill. Because I tried so many times to have a baby. But she could not have a baby because she simply became too old. She said she was longing to have someone that looked like me, that I can have give and receive love. But she was too late. There was only time period when you have children. It's a family breakdown, social breakdown, and it ends up have a big government. So that's Susan Vanker in her book. She strongly talk about non-negotiable. We had enough. We know what feminism did to us. So let's put an end to it. Come on. She encourages very, very strong word, non-negotiable. I want to make firm stand, and this is what women should do. She's saying this. No to free sex. Say no to free sex. Casual sex is a dead-end street, and cohabitation does not lead to a successful marriage. That's what she strongly encouraged women to do. Say no free sex. You know, free sex is, nowadays, free sex has become very dangerous. Because if you sleep with one person outside of marriage, then you are basically sleeping with the people the other person slept with entire his life. Everyone, every single one. And then there's a funny joke. I don't know it's funny, but there's a joke that even though a boy or girl who had STD graduate from the high school, that STD stay in that high school. So that much, there's so many STD, is more than 25, I believe, besides AIDS. And then the new article that I read was, you know, we think the virus of bacteria or virus of the STD only exists in a genital area, right? But that's not true. Actually, they live underneath of your fingernail. Yes, you heard it correct. Underneath of your fingernail. So you have to basically you have to put your health and well-being in life to have a free sex life. So this is something we really have to think about. And then marriage is the ultimate goal. We have to teach our girls, even though men said, I'll get married with you, don't worry. Oh, you know, I love you so much, let's have a cohabitation, let's live together first. Then, you know, we love each other, right? But we have to teach our girl, say no. You know, if you give me the ring and then you promise and pronounce everybody that I'm gonna marry with you, I'm not gonna live with you. We have to teach our girl that this is no. Marriage is the ultimate goal. I want to have a marriage, stable marriage life. You know, I love you, but I want marriage. I want to provide the best family structure for my children. And hopefully, you know, if you get married, it's the best thing. And we have to teach our young girls that this is the best thing for girls actually. Marriage is beneficial to women. Let's not get buy into like a marriage is some kind of a grave for women. Okay? We think, you know, we actually learned what is love from Archangel. We learned what love is from this romantic drama. The Korean drama. My husband always talk about Korean drama, right? Why it's not good for your marriage life. Because it gives you false picture about what love is, what romance is. You know, when men fall in love with women, oh, this is what they should say. Oh, I love you. And what is it? Like, I will pluck my eyes for you. He's my husband's favorite line. How ridiculous Korean drama is. And we saw soap opera, we saw mass media, we read a magazine, women's magazine, whatever, The free sex idea is everywhere, saying that, marriage is like old. Oh, marriage is, who wants to get married? Cool people just live together. And this is everywhere, right? But marriage is beneficial to girls because they can raise the family very stable. Think about it. When men, if this marriage covenant is not there, centered on God, then men can divorce, move on to my old wife, and next, new, young, and fresh woman. They can always say that, right? But because of the marriage covenant, woman does not just, have a value. His wife does not just have a value because she's young and beautiful. No, they went through hell together. They went through high hills and low time, the high time and low time. My wife, when I was really sick, when I had a cancer, my wife just, she went out and worked and she did everything for me. How can I not love this woman? And that's what marriage is about, the total commitment. And then, so that's why marriage is in the end, it's good for women. And we never, this is something that I'm very passionate about. I understand that I'm repeating on and on, but this is something that I'm very passionate about. I'm sorry about that if I'm repeating myself. And then, thank you. You guys are very encouraging. According to an article of a comparison of marriage relationship quality over time 2002, long-term cohabitation couple reported a lower relationship happiness and fairness than married couple. And we can really avoid this heartbreak from all this relationship when we actually commit ourselves to marriage. Fully recognize. The third one is fully recognizing that our children have needs. What kind of needs do they need? They want their parents to be, they want to be raised by their own parents and who are married to each other. They want that. You will see, thank you. You will see this very heartbreaking picture. Look at that little girl. This picture was taken Iraqi orphanage. And that little girl, she actually never seen her mother or father. So she was raised in orphanage, and one day she wants to draw her mom on the ground so that she can sleep with her. Many people say, oh, daycare is good. You get socialized from daycare, and then the children need to be socialized into early age so that they can be developed, whatever. But you know what? There's no absolute concrete statistic that shows because they went to the daycare earlier, they'll become more socialized. No. They want to say it, but there's no absolute evidence, very concrete evidence for that. So we don't want to leave our children behind. Don't get me wrong. You know what? I'm not going against the women working. Many of my good friends are working, and I love them. And they have a great family. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is when you actually, women when they actually have a job, they have to consider motherhood and marriage in their mind. So they don't ignore, okay, I just have followed my big career. No, instead of that, you have to consider motherhood and marriage in your when you plan for your occupation, so that you can actually leave from your job for a while, at least 5 years, until your child becomes 5 years old, and you can go back to job. That's what I'm proposing. And that's what Susan Vanker in the book of The Flip Side of Feminism is proposing. So that the children, the mom become the main caregiver for their own child for at least the 5 years of the early stage of their children. So what's the counter proposal to feminism? Teach the flip side of feminism to our sons and daughters. You'll be very surprised how many sons were influenced by feminism. You will say, oh, today's topic is feminism, so why am I sitting here? And some of the men might have thought that, right? Why am I sitting here? Okay, today maybe I'll pack up and go. It's about feminism. But you will be very surprised how many men are influenced by feminism. And then they actually scared to tell the truth to girls. And like, oh yeah, I don't want to feel their feeling. I don't want to hurt their feeling. I don't know. I can't really tell the truth even though she's acting really nasty. I can't really tell her that. So we have to tell our sons, embrace your masculinity. It's okay. It's okay. You enjoy wrestling. It's okay. You can enjoy football or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You can join with us and train together. So teach our sons and daughters and teach the daughters about what is the really feminism is about, and then why we should not get trapped in their why we should not get caught by their trap. And then recognizing that happy marriages are obtainable and women staying home to care for their children is actually noble and worthwhile thing. Recognize that. Genesis 2:18 said, the Lord God said, it is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him. Isn't that a beautiful statement? But feminists say, see, they treat women as a second citizen. See that we are only helpers. See? Well, what Adam said after this? Adam said, woman, the Eve is my bone of bone and flesh of flesh and bone of bone. And the man cherishes woman that much. And that's what Bible teaches us. Come on. Let's not just let's not distort the scripture that way. It's a noble thing. Motherhood is a beautiful and noble thing. It should deserve its own respect. Keep a love and respect relationship with your spouse and children. Ephesians 5:3 says, each one of you also must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband. After I had this lecture, and then one girl came to me, and then she said, so I struggled with about respect. So even though I don't like something about my husband, should I just grin and bear, and I should not say anything and just respect it? But Hyungjin said this, Pastor Moon said this many times in the sermon. We have to confront the problem with the respect, right? The nagging and screaming, and you can do all you want, but that does not change man. If you are really interested in changing your man, you have to confront the problem with the respect. And one of the way I do is make an appointment and write it down, and then limit the time 30 minutes. And that usually works for me. And if there's other method that it worked to you, please let me know. Okay? Yeah. Let's share knowledge, okay? So this is conclusion. Women need to realize that feminism is a deeply destructive force in our society. Third wave feminism have manipulated our youth into becoming increasingly self-centered and rejecting time-tested values. What's time-tested value? It is a duty, honor, sacrifice, and responsibility. They switch that into tolerance, victimhood, self-gratification, and self-idol worship, right? They changed it into that. So the whole generation became an idol worshiper, self-idol worshiper. And I really think this third wave feminism have really contributed to that to happen. And then truly liberated women actually celebrate the difference between men and women and admit it, not only admit it and celebrate, oh, that's how God made. I celebrate it. And then embrace their roles as mom and wife. And then at the last slide, and keep calm and say no to feminism. Thank you so much for listening. And God bless you all. Thank you.